And this case seemed unsolvable. Even earlier this year, Metro's lab ran what DNA they had from this case, and it was not even close to being enough to come up with a match. And that's the exact situation where Othram Lab steps in. But it was only possible because of a generous donation from a Las Vegas man.
January 26, 1979. A Western High sophomore, Kim Bryant, was just around the block at this then Dairy Queen. Her boyfriend would be swinging by to pick her up in just minutes. But instead, she disappeared, never to be seen alive again. Weeks later, Bryant's body was discovered in the desert, but a suspect never emerged.
As a result, Kim's case was eventually classified as a cold case homicide. For the past 42 years, this case has been reviewed by numerous LVMPD detectives, hoping to gather new leads.
But into the 21st century, as DNA testing became a possibility, there was never good enough technology to find a DNA match to identify the suspect, until a Texas lab called Othram.
Or unlock DNA clues from even the trace amounts of DNA or the smallest amount of evidence or evidence that is older, degraded, or any type of forensic evidence. And we are the only lab in the United States or Canada that is built only for this purpose.
Fox 5 first introduced you to Othram in August, when their lab identified Stephanie Isaacson's murderer more than 30 years later by building a genetic profile of the killer from just 15 human cells. They say it's the smallest amount of DNA ever in a criminal case. And that same technology has now named Johnny Peterson, then 19 years old, the suspect in Kim Bryant's murder and sexual assault.
To try to give back to the people, some of the families that have been hurt, and help Metro PD to be a supportive member of the community.
The $5,000 in funding for both Isaacson and Bryant's case came from local philanthropist Justin Wu, and he is getting a group of people in Las Vegas to join him to fund another 7 Metro cold cases to send DNA off to the Othram lab.
Hopefully, we may even have a spot where we crowdfund from the local community to get enough money to solve, additional cases in the future.
We don't want to do this in a one-by-one case basis, but we want to use this technology to clear entire backlogs and give answers to multiple families.
Bryant's father said, quote, "Kim was a beautiful girl with a bright future, and it makes me happy something is being done to solve cases such as hers."
So the man identified as a suspect died in 1993, so because of that, no charges will be filed, but police will still investigate if he could possibly be behind any other crimes before his death. I'm Drew Andre, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.